because um, it's part of the moral practice. So when we did something wrong, we have to recognize that we did wrong. For example, something very obvious, and if we kill someone, it's go against the morality, right? So based on those five precepts, we have to reflect on what we have done wrong. And then if there is something wrong, then we start feeling remorse or regret. So based on that, we need to have a repentance. But then how do, before the precept, before the Buddha laid out the five precepts, in the last class we already mentioned there are two mental factors that's really important that associate with the moral practice. That is the Uttapa and you look so strange to me. Are you a new student?
Yes.
Where you from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Were you the one want to learn online before? What's your name? You were the ones. Okay. So, your first class and this is the last class. So you have to review all those topics, okay? Then whatever you don't understand, then you just come and to my office, so then I'm going to coach you. Also that you need to write the assignments like Pante and Robert, and this I will do. But I will edit whoever need to write the assignment because I teach only half of the semester. After the midterm, I don't teach this class anymore. Dr. Puja will take over this class. So she will teach, and then because I teach only half, so I share the mark with her. Usually we have progressive assessment that's 30%, and this 30% including the first assignment and second assignment. And also that is 10%, and also the attendance is 10%. Okay? And then the midterm will cost you 20%, and the midterm is 50%. But because we share the teaching, so that's why I will take 20% on, this is mine, okay? So this is, I will take 20% on the midterm fully, that's my responsibility. And then I also take the 10% from the two in-class quiz that you already wrote. Whoever missed one of them, you have to write the assignment to me, so then you can make up the 10% of your first assignment. They have a quiz in-class quiz, each of them only 5%. But because you're coming late, so that's why you have to write the assignment for me. Okay? So based on your assignment and the topic that I'm going to give you, I'm going to evaluate your assignment. All right? And then this assignment, you have to write with Dr. Puja, not me. Okay? And then we also share 5%. This is also belong to mine as well. And this is belong to mine as well. So if you fail in my exam, fine. If you fail, fine, you still have 55%, or 65% belong to Dr. Puja. Now Dr. Puja, rescue me now, okay? Brenda failed me. You only have 35%, don't you? So, no, yeah, 35%. So this is 20, 30, and 5% here, you only have 35%, don't you? Even though the teaching is the same, whatever that you have the exam from now until, including the topic from the beginning up to the midterm, that's it. The final exam will not include from the beginning to the end, even though it's 65%, right? Whatever Dr. Puja teach, it will be in the 50% in the final exam. So I don't responsible for talking the final exam. Okay? So if you fail my midterm, you will not fail. But in case that you fail, okay, then it's not the end of the world because you still have 65% to make up with Dr. Puja. All right? She's more compassionate than I am. I'm very picky. So, I'm very picky. So understand how we mark the paper, okay? So also now what will you choose? Bali or Sanskrit? And then I have a function for Bali. I have, so far I know 4 more coming from ASEAN. 4 months, 5 months. Ooh, life is like more male in this class. Look at this, a whole bunch in the middle. It's a whole set of female. But also there is 5 more months coming in which up the class. Much better. We need more male here. So we're going to have 5 more months, 4 from Vietnam, 3, within those 4, 3 from Theravada and 1 Mahayana, then 4 from Vietnam and 1 from Bangladesh. No, 1 from Myanmar. Oh, 1 from Myanmar and 1 from Bangladesh. Hopefully we have 6. Now within this 6, I'm going to tell you what, I don't know whether they're going to take Bali or not. In trouble. So there you go. That my half of the, I thought that after this class I'm free. But after this class I have to meet up with the late people coming and I have to do the tutoring.
Am I the only Western?
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm scared.
I'm just a paper. I'm just a paper Westerner. I'm just a paper Westerner. I'm a Canadian citizen by paper, not by birth. So I'm a Canadian, but by paper. Okay, so last class we talked about repentance. And repentance, there are 2. Before there is a Patimukha, before the Vinaya, the Buddha said Ehi Pasi, and then that, Ehi, that's mean Ehi, Ehi Bhikkhu, that's mean come Bhikkhu, then that's one listen to the Dhamma and he become Arahant. So when they become Arahant, they live with their principle. So what are the principles before the Vinaya arrives? So then there is a Uttama, and also hearing. Okay? Uttapa and hearing. That means shamelessness and also fear. So I already explained that the shamelessness, you shame to yourself that you have your own principle. Whatever you do is go against with your own will, with your own principle. No. For example, if you give me the money and say, when Brenda pass me, I say no. My principle as a teacher, I don't take your money. So that is a principle. You understand the principle, right? Same principle, there's no rule. But it is part of the wholesomeness and as a human guideline. Okay? Very normal, very universal. So then I will not accept like that. So the principle is part of the human value and not even value, it's part of the human action. Okay? So then they don't take the money. And if you have the fearless, so there's a no, I will not commit into stealing. If I steal, then I will be in the jail. So that is the fear. You fear from the external factors. The principle that you fear, you have a shameless from the internal factors. Okay? So that's why Buddha said you must have 2 of this equivalent to the discipline. Right? Equivalent to the Vinaya. So And I already addressing the issue, why you need 2 of them? It's just like 2 faces of one coin. So if you have the shamelessness but you don't have the fearless, then whatever you do is based on your principle, regardless whoever criticize. I don't care, my way or highway. Right? So, but then if you have a fearless, okay, this is my principle. But majority of the people dislike it, then I have to go with the majority. Right? So, but then if there is the fear from outside, but there's no principle, so then you become very sneaky. Whatever you do, I say, I better not do it. Even though it's wrong, I better not do it because the other one will criticize you. So you don't have your own value. to evaluate whether this kind of a behavior is proper or inappropriate. So that's why then it's become kind of slanted. So that's why Ottawa and hearing is allowing you to have a balanced behavior, okay, and decision making. So that is why it's associated with the ethical issue. You okay so far? You okay so far? All classes we review from what we have discussed last week. So then, how do you repent it? A person would like to say sorry. The first thing that you need to recognize, you have to recognize what you have done wrong. If you don't recognize you have done wrong, then there's no way you're going to admit that you did something wrong. Okay? So the first condition that you have to recognize that what have you done wrong? So then after the recognizing, then you have to admit. Sometimes you recognize, but because our ego is so high, you say, no, it's not my fault. He's the one instigating me to do that. You recognize that's your fault, but you don't admit that your responsibility for it. So that's why after you recognize already, regardless whether who instigating you to do it or not, you are the person who make the final decision before you act. So you have to take the full responsibility for that. I'll give you the example. When I was a nurse in hospital, and this is what we've been trained. If the doctor gives a wrong dose of medication, like morphine for example, and the nurse also know the dosage, okay? And then somehow if the doctor say, okay, give this patient 1.1 milligram, as in 1 cc with additional. And if you give more than 1.1 or more than 1 cc, the patient dies. Because the morphine suppress the heart rate and also suppress the breathing rate of the elderly. As an adult, yes, they can stand it, but the elderly at 90 years old, they cannot stand that dose. But if the nurse doesn't use the judgment and she just carry out and she give 1.1 dosage, then later on that nurse committed to a crime. And then she said, no, I follow the doctor's order. Of course, as a nurse, we have to follow the doctor's order. But still, we still have to judge whether it's right or not right. So then in the court, the lawyer also said that, yes, the doctor ordered you to do that. But your decision to give that much is final decision is still yours. You have the knowledge. You learn all this, you have the knowledge. If you question, if something has been wrong here, you have to question the doctor. You're allowed to question the doctor. And the nurse did not do it, and it's committed to the crime. Exactly the same as a gamma. You are the owner of your gamma. Okay? So whether the people instigating it, you have to use your own conscience to judge whether it's right or wrong that I should do this or I shouldn't do that. And still, final decision is yours. So that's why you have to admit that you did it wrong. You admit it first, admit that I already did, because for example, I'm the one chopped the apple, right? Even though that my friends said, chop, I say, why have to chop? I chop it myself. Why have to listen to you? And then the moment you chop, or if you listen to a chop and you chop, that is still your action. You did not take a minute to think about whether you should or you should not. So in that case, just admitting it, and then once you go into the court, it's still not what she did it without, or she did it maybe lack of knowledge. She did it because such a busy case where she was not that conscious. So people will reduce, the degree of the sin that you commit. But you have to admit first at the beginning. Intentionally or intentionally is depend on the situation. So that's why when you confess, you have to admit that you did wrong. Okay? That's why a lot of people say that, oh, I don't want to fall in love with her, but she keep falling in love with me. And she keep indulging me, okay? And pamper me. You know, so then if you do not get help, nobody can do anything. That's what they say. So then, after you are making it already, then what you going to do next? The third one? You will ask for forgiveness, right? You will ask for forgiveness. So that's when you confess. So in the process of confession, you need to follow those three levels. And this is very logical. And if you learn the law, okay, the same thing. You go to the court, okay, will you admit that you did something wrong? And if in the monastery, if you did something wrong, you recognize you did something wrong. You come to the master and say, Master, today I admit that I have done something wrong. And then the master said, what wrong? What's wrong that you have done? So then she has to ask you what you have done wrong. Okay? Then you have to list out the thing that you have committed. So that's when you recognize it and you also admit that you did something wrong. And then after that, you go to ask for forgiveness. So that's why, again, the process is this. The moment the master listens to what you did already, what does he do? Then he has to verify it. Is this wrong according to the Vinaya? Okay? The first one that he has, the person accepting forgiveness, he has to listen and then he goes to verify. Right? It's just like a lawyer, I killed a person. Then he said, okay, kill them according to what? According to with the tension in unintentional, like that. He has to verify. Then he going to, after verifying already, what does he do? He going to wait whether it's a very, very heavy type of sin or very light. Okay, so then he has to wait. After he waiting already, whatever that, then he make a decision. The decision is based on the wage of the sin. And so let's say it's something very minor. Then what does he do? Then he going to ask, he will ask, I will punish you to do the gardening for the whole week. Do you agree? Okay? So then, if you agree, then you say yes. But if you say, Master, my health is really bad, blah, 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 whatever, I don't have enough food, you don't feed me enough, I don't have enough energy, or whatever. Okay? And you say, can you reduce it? And Master said, okay, 3 days. Okay? So then, so, and then after that, you're free to go. That's when you feel happy. Now, the question is, so that's why the Buddha said, if a person, there are two fools of a person. The first fool person is that one who doesn't properly accept, confess of the person. That means the fool who doesn't accept when people confess to him or her, or accept the apology. Okay? That is the first fool. And then the second fool is what? The second fool, the who recognize that they have made a mistake. That means the other fool is the person who don't recognize they have done a mistake, or they recognize but they don't admit that they have made a mistake. So that's a two type of fool. If a person says sorry to you, let's say if I did something wrong, if I don't recognize that I have done something wrong, I consider as a fool person, right? But if I recognize my fault, then I come to apologize to you. And if you don't accept my apology, that's considered as a fool. The person who does the apology considered as a fool. And if he accepts, then he's the wise. So that's why the Buddha said there are two fool people in this world. Why is that? What is the result for confess? And what is the result for accepting the apology? Thumbs up. Answer come out. Again, another 5 minutes thinking. Why do you need to confess? Yes, you go ahead. You whisper. Say it. You may have done it. Why do we need to confess and why do we need to accept the apology? And then each sister by name now. I know that's her name is News, I can call her. I know the other sister by Tweed, and I know this sister by Nya, and another sister by Thảo, and I know that sister by Han. Okay, the rest I don't know. Oh, that's not. And I don't know the rest. I learned, I still learn. Why we need to confess? And why we need to forgive? According to the ethical. That's right. But
Confess because to get rid of remorse.
get rid of remorse.
Uh,
You know that you answer because the sprinkle in your eyes. Then tell me.
I think it's make myself free from mistake.
That's what he said. You're free from your remorse. Yes, Robert.
As a Westerner, we say confession is good for the soul.
Do
Confession is good for the soul.
what does this mean? Good for the soul.
Well, it's so better.
How's better? Yes.
When I make a mistake, I confess with my master or other sister. They can, but the first week I feel I reduce my remorse.
Okay.
And the second thing I think when I confess, people will help me to avoid.
The similar mistake in the future. Thank you. See, I answer for you too. There you go. That is one thing. But the key point here is what? The key point here is what? For the association, of course, for the association, in the ethical is part for the association, right? In the society, which is good. All of your answers good. And what else?
We can be more aware about mistakes or
Yeah,
the same
when you
mistake.
speak out, you will not have a sense. And that's what is the confess, the purpose for you to recognize it. You have to speak it out. The moment you speak it out, you're able to hear what you have done wrong. So whatever you hear, you will plan back to your A consciousness, the alaya, say that I should not do anymore. So that is alaya. So you store in your mind and say that I will not do it. In the Theravada, you store in your sanya again. And if you did something wrong again, the sanya say, aha, you did something wrong last time. And then you say, oh, we stop again. Okay? So that's a sanya. No, but then the thing is, what I want to address you is that what is the ultimate way of practice in Buddhism? Upekkha. Let it go. Non-attachment. Let it go. Regardless you're the one admit the fault or the one that you forgive, you have to let it go. Think about compassion. I already said compassion is also letting go. these are all the methods of letting go. Step by step, small mental factor accumulate over a period of time. And that's how we develop our wisdom. We try to be light toward our mental factor. So letting go, forgiving is also letting go. Asking forgiving to letting go our mistake, embrace ourselves that we have done something wrong, we would not commit to do mistake. But we have to let go of the most. Right? We have to let go of transgression. And I already said remorse is the hindrance to block you to progress in the spiritual path. So asking for the forgiveness is the way, effective way to letting go that kind of a statement of in our mind that's remorse. Now the question is, so does that mean your old karma has gone? This is the question. You already confessed, right? The result of the karma, whatever you have done already, will it still be the karma that you will suffer in the future? Or if you ask and confess, no more karma, what is your rational explanation here? And I'm telling you, backing you up this one. You're from Jammu Kashmir. You're from Kashmir, right? No, you're from Ladakh. Why the Buddha say is four? When Muslims come to India, and correct me whoever from India, I say it wrong, according to history. Jammu Kashmir and also Ladakh, the whole that's Himalaya region belong to Savatthivada school. Am I right? Oh, you don't know that. They're all from Savatthivada. Okay? And Savatthivada is the Mahayana. The Savatthivada is not a Mahayana, it's actually branched out from Theravada. But then Savatthivada later on preaching it too much about the Mahayana thought. And back then in the 4th century, no, I think it's about 17th or 18th century about it. But one of the king, he killed his parents and he killed his brother. So then he can become a king. So after that, and he was a witness. After that, he has guilt in his mind. And he confessed to the Buddhist monk. And the Buddhist monk said, no, you commit into two sins, killed mom and dad, cannot be forgiven. So then he went to the Hindu and he also confessed. And you know Hindu and Buddhism very similar. So the Hindu doesn't accept a son killed the parent either. So then the Hindus say, no, we don't accept your confession. After that, one of the priests of Muslim, he said, you don't need to confess, you just believe in Allah, and Allah will forgive you, for Allah will forgive you and cleansing all your sin that you have done. So then he said, okay, so he converted to Muslim. Then after that, he converted the whole Jammu Kashmir, Savatthivada into Muslim. That's why you see Jammu Kashmir now is Muslim. And you see that is the four? That is the four. So we watch out. We watch out as a leader in the country. Sometimes you need to think about when a person has a remorse. You have to think about it. Now, the similar situation, according to the Samyapala Sutta, Samana Samya Sutta, a judge had to kill Bibhisara king, right? His father. And then later on, according to this sutta, he come and to confess to the Buddha, and the Buddha accept his confession. Okay? And after he left, Buddha said he's a bit lost. If he did not kill his parents, he probably progressed to the first fruit in the sainthood already. Sotapanna. But because he did that, so that's why he unable to reach that. That's kind of guilt. It's very strong, even if you confess. And you know, does this really mean if you confess, is that mean this person is free from the sin that they already have committed?
Should we subjected by
What do you do by subtract?
just taking out of the right.
Yeah. That means that he stopped the evil action from that moment onward. For example, if there is a mud, right? A mud path. And if I walk, whenever I walk through the mud path, the footprint is already there. You cannot erase it, right? But whatever clean here, you just wipe your foot and you walk, and the footprint getting lighter, and it's gone, right? But whatever the deep footprint that you walk in the mud, it doesn't go away. Whatever the sin, the very deep sin, the heavy sin that a person commit already, he still has to pay. But he just pay up to whatever that he already committed. And then whatever the path after that, he will not. And this is the proof. How Ajatasattu died. He was killed by his son. Whatever go around, come around. Okay? So that's why he got killed by his son. So, that is the sin he has to pay. Alright?
Why is Buddha accepted that?
Well, Buddha accepting it, so then he feel better, right? He doesn't have, maybe if the Buddha doesn't accept it, then he probably have 100% guilt, right? And then if his son killed him, he might have more anger, right? Am I right? But because he accepted his sin and he admitted he commit as a very heavy sin, then even though when he got killed, maybe he doesn't have that kind of suffering so much, right? At this time he said, okay, I did something wrong. Now time to pay. Who knows? At the moment he died. But the killing by your immediate son or daughter, that he has to pay. And you know what? His son is also being killed by his grandson. Grandson killed grandson, grandson killed grandson, grandson killed grandson for 7 generations. According to the Magadha kingdom, that the king will be killed, and Ajatasattu make the initiation. Okay? But actually not Ajatasattu. It's not Ajatasattu make the initiation. Actually the Bimbisara make the initiation. Because the Bimbisara, he killed the saint. So then, because the saint said that, oh, you wait for a few more years, I will be your son. Huh? So then the Bimbisara could not wait for that ascetic person to die and be his son. So then he asked someone to come and kill him so he can be born to be a prince early enough. But unfortunately, he became a prince, the son of Bimbisara, then he killed Bimbisara. Then later on, the son killed, who knows, maybe Bimbisara will be born a son and killed Ajatasattu. Who knows? I don't know.
And there are 5 ABCs which are unforgivable. One is bearing, other is trying to be like a priest, right? That is like burning of temples, plus
else?
Arahant.
Or
Okay, mau lagi.
cause the division of the Sangha. Okay? Is that belong to Arahant? What else? Fine, but some of the schools indicate only 4 because this is combined into one. Consider killing mom, killing dad, going to be considered as killing parent. So that's 4. Now, if you make the Buddha bleeding, so in this contemporary society, you cannot make the Buddha bleed, right? Buddha is enter Mahaparinibbana, right? Is that right?
Yes.
No. What does this really mean by the cause the Buddha body bleed? Think about this one, Buddha body. Kaya. How many kaya the Buddha have? There you go. Kaya. What else? There you go. You cause one of this Buddha Kaya bleed. That means you prevent the Dhamma progress. That's what it's really means. It doesn't mean the Rupa Kaya. It means the Dhamma Kaya. Okay? And if you stopping the Dhamma progression in a society for the sake of the human welfare, then you commit to and this is the one I'm telling you. This is very common, especially women. I'm telling you, he is bad. Don't listen to me. I'm telling you, she said that. Don't trust her. There you go, division of the Sangha. That's why you have the folk tale, the folk tongue speech, right? That is the divisive speech. And divisive speech, a lot of people take lying very lightly, but they don't know that they can commit into this one of this sin right here. Watch out, Amal. I'm telling you, she's not good. I'm telling you, I'm your good friend. That's what I tell you. He is not good.
Sometimes the member in the Sangha themselves divide not like
But that's what they still committing to the vision of the sin, of the Sangha. No, not too sad. It's
So
okay.
they will say, well, mine is better, yours is good.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Because 4 is divided up for the sake of whoever match with their way of practice and the philosophy teaching, then it's fine, no problem. But I don't see the Sangha fight. I'm telling you, I don't see the Sangha fight. But I see the Lady Devotee fight. Because a lot in Vietnam, Lady Devotee say, Theravada is better than Mahayana. And then the Lady Devotee Mahayana is more progressing and then do a lot of good for the society, much better than your Theravada. Your Theravada. My Theravada. Your Mahayana. But Mom, they don't. I don't know, but in Vietnam, we embrace both. In Vietnam, we have Mahayana, we have Vajrayana, and we also have Mahayana. And that's why you see that as a Mahayana, when Mahayana wrote, I still learn Bali, I still teach Bali. My master very good in Chinese Buddhism. His Chinese character very, very good. And he also did a translation of the Chinese Mahayana Sutra to Vietnamese as well. But he teach Bali too. So he teach for the batch and so that's my master who teach the Bali. So in Vietnam we don't divide, no Mahayana, no Theravada. In university we learn all. You can choose Tibetan language, you can choose the Sanskrit language, or you can choose Chinese, Asian language, or you can choose Pali language. Okay? Very harmonious, no problem. So, like I said, this October I might go to Vietnam for the conference. And one of the Mahayana monks, he made an initiation to translate all of this 5 Nikaya in Pali to Vietnamese. So October, they're going to make the anniversary for him, and then they conduct the conference. And he asked all the Vietnamese monks and now to come back to do the conference to present the paper. So very harmonious in Vietnam. But if you go to Sri Lanka, Laos, Myanmar, Thai, Cambodia, Theravada only, no Mahayana. You go to Tibet, Bhutan, China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Mahayana only, no Theravada. Like that. You go to Samarkand, like that, but not in Vietnam. So, whatever, we still go ahead.
So what does
Because we don't
the
have
three
to
times?
but we respect the water, we read, when the phone number 2, all this we read in her. As even as a layman of reading, it is very level.
But do they teach them that?
Yes, phone number 2,
The motor is not enough.
What are the three times of
You will learn that later on in later on in school, okay? So, but now you just should know, because in Theravada, you don't have that, the other two bodies. We only have the Dhammakaya or Rupakaya. That means this one, a body and a Dhammakaya. Okay, so as I teach Theravada, so I just focus on the Dhammakaya, okay? The other Gaya we have to learn from Mahayana teacher, Pancho and Geshe Ruto or Puja. I knew it, but I don't want to do it.
I had one more question, and you gave the example of that king who became converted minister. So he recognized his mistake. He went to different people, so he was not doing the first one, or he didn't recognize his mistake fully,
That's I don't know.
or
But
didn't God accept it, his confession.
now the context is very limited from what I read. Okay, the context that I read is very limited. That he confessed to because he's a Buddhist. He was a Buddhist. So then he confessed to the monk, and the monk did not accept him. Or maybe he confessed and the monk accepted, but majority of the Buddhists in Samadhipada in the Himalaya don't accepting him. Maybe, who knows?
So not accepting someone's confession is
Yeah.
also
A fool. Yeah. It's also a fool. Because whatever you have done, it's already done. Whether you accept it or not accept, it's already done. You have to let it go, right? And you progress forward. Also, you should allow another person to rectify it, a chance to become wholesome, right? So that is one thing that as a Buddhist, we need to give another person a chance. Because it's impermanent, right? You cannot be unwholesome for the whole life. You cannot be unwholesome forever. If you can be, if you confess, because you recognize something wrong, even a scam, if he go out and the people don't respect him, then he should reflect back what he has done wrong. So that is impermanent. If he recognizes that he did something wrong, that means he this state of mind is impermanent. Mind is impermanent. Today I can be wholesome, the next day, oh no, I might be wholesome. And today he is unwholesome, the next day he might be wholesome. So we have to accept that. And that's why that's theory that backing up this reason. You're going to be a fool if you don't accept other people to confess. Okay? So, and we also went over that whatever you did it wrong, you still have to write the karma, result, and do it. Whether it's come very deep karma or late karma, it depends on the condition. Okay? Nothing is fixed. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you will learn this with Dr. Puja about the karma theory. It doesn't mean that you have the mango seed and you plant it down and you will have a mango tree. Mango tree you will have it for sure, but it doesn't mean you will have a mango fruit that you plant it down. Or even though you have a mango fruit, it's not necessarily as rich as the one that you plant it down. Because it's all depends on the what? On the supported karma. Right? The air, the sun, the water, the soil, the people who nurture the karma seed, so it's brought up like that. So all of this one is a supported karma. So whatever he has done, stop it right there. The main karma, okay, that you plant the seed is already stopped. Now, but then you cannot control the conditional karma around. So that's what we will learn from Dr. Puja after the Puja exam. Okay? So, and I pull out the Samanya Phala Sutta. This is about the Ajasattu that I already mentioned to you, okay? About the Ajasattu. And so that's why it's questioned that does confession really have to banish your sin from the head of karma? We already went over that. Does Buddha can clear one's wrong deed? Can Buddha clear one's wrong deed? Okay? Subject to the Islam. How's that? Okay? And then what is the purpose for confession? And what is the purpose for forgiving? Okay? That's it. Thumbs up. Student from Pali, stay.